families. You ready for story time? So I'm ready for story time. Today's story is Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Now, we've read a story that has that same title, but it's not by the same author, so it might be a little bit different. Now, the author is Jan Britt. What does the author do? All right, I heard some of you out there. What does the illustrator do? Ooh, I heard a few more that time. All right, good job. Once upon a time, there were three bears who lived together in a house of their own in a wood. One of them was a little small wee bear, and one was a middle-sized bear, and the other was a great, huge bear. They each had a bowl for their porridge, a little bowl for a little small wee bear, and a middle-sized bowl for a middle-sized bear, and a great, huge bowl for a great, huge bear. And they each had a chair to sit in, a little chair for the wee small baby bear, a middle-sized chair for the middle-sized bear, and a great, huge chair for the giant, huge bear. And they each had a bed to sleep in, a little bed for the little small wee bear, and a middle-sized bed for the middle-sized bear, and a great, huge bed for the great, huge bear. One day, after they had made their porridge for breakfast and poured it into their porridge bowls, they walked out into the woods while the porridge was cooling. Ooh, look what I see over here. And while they were walking, a little girl named Goldilocks came to their house. First, she looked in the window, then she peeped in the keyhole, and seeing no one was at home, she lifted the latch. The door opened before her, and she went in. What in the world? How pleased Goldilocks was when she saw the steaming porridge on the table. The sweet smell of porridge with roasted nuts, honey, berries filled the room. It was so tempting that Goldilocks set about helping herself. She first tasted the porridge of the great, huge bear, but it was too hot. Then she tasted the porridge of the middle-sized bear, but it was too cold. And then she tried the porridge of the little small wee bear, and it was neither too hot nor too cold. It was just right. She liked it so much that she ate it all up. The Goldilocks sat down in the chair of the great, huge bear, but it was too hard for her. Then she sat down in the chair of the middle-sized bear, but it was too soft for her. And then she sat down in the chair of the little small wee bear, and the chair was neither too hard nor too soft, but it was just right. So Goldilocks seated herself in it, and there she sat until the bottom of the chair gave way, and she came down with a plump on the floor. Then Goldilocks went upstairs to the bedroom in which three bears slept. First she lay down on the bed of the great huge bear, but that was too high for her head. Next she lay down upon the bed of the middle-sized bear, but it was too high at the foot for her. Then she lay down upon the bed of the little small wee bear, and that was neither too high at the head nor foot, but it was just right. So she covered herself up comfortably and went fast asleep. By this time, the three bears thought their porridge would be cool enough to eat. So they returned home for breakfast. Now Goldilocks had left the spoon of the great huge bear standing in his porridge. "Someone has been at my porridge," the great big huge bear in his great big rough, gruff voice. And then the middle-sized bear looked at her. She saw the spoon was standing in it too. "Somebody has been in my porridge," said the middle-sized bear in her middle-sized voice. Then the little small wee bear looked at his bowl, and the spoon was in the porridge bowl, but the porridge was all gone. "Somebody had been in my porridge and is eating it all up," said the little small wee bear in his little small wee voice. Upon this, the three bears, seeing that someone had entered their house and had eaten up the little small wee bear's breakfast, began to look about them. Now Goldilocks had not put the card cushion straight when she rose from the chair of the great huge bear. "Somebody has been sitting in my chair," said the great huge bear in his great, rough, gruff voice. And Goldilocks had crumbled the soft cushion of the middle-sized bear. "Somebody has been sitting in my chair," said the middle-sized bear in her middle-sized voice. And you know what Goldilocks had done to the third chair? "Somebody has been sitting in my chair, and it sat the bottom right out of it," said the wee small bear in his wee small voice. Then the three bears thought it necessary that they should make a further search, so they went upstairs to their bed. Now Goldilocks pulled the pillow of the great huge bear out of place. "Someone has been laying in my bed," said the great huge bear in his great, huge, gruff voice. And Goldilocks had pulled the cover off the middle-sized bear out of place. "Someone has been laying in my bed," said the middle-sized bear in her middle-sized voice. Oh goodness, what's about to happen? She looks like she's sleeping peacefully. Then the little small wee bear came to look at his bed. There was Goldilocks, sleeping peacefully, her long shiny braids spread across his pillow. Little small wee bear had stared at her for a moment and didn't say anything. But then he cried, "Somebody's been laying in my bed, and here she is!" Goldilocks had heard in her sleep the great, rough, gruff voice of the great huge bear and the middle-sized voice of the middle-sized bear, but it was only as if she had heard someone speaking in a dream. But then she heard a little small wee voice of the little small wee bear. It was so sharp and so shrill, she like her own, that had wakened her at once. Up she started. And when she saw the three bears on one side of the bed, she tumbled off the other and ran to the window. Out Goldilocks jumped and ran away as fast as she could, not looking behind her until she was very, very, very far away. I'd be running too. And what happened to Goldilocks afterwards? No one can tell. But the three bears never saw anything more of her. The